Let us discuss what is a fraudulent transfer. This is related with immovable property and comes under section 53 of Transfer of Property Act 1882. Why it is so important fraudulent transfer to know and how to check this type of transfers. So let us start what section 53 actually says. Section 353 of the Transfer of Property Act says that this section, which is governing fraudulent transfers, protects the bona fide purchasers who act in good faith and for consideration. It means that there are such transfers which defeat or delay creditors, but that can be challenged only when the creditors complain against it that they have been cheated or there have been any fraud against them. So this section prevents fraudulent transfers. Now, what are the key aspects of this section 53? It has been described under section 53(1). First of all, this section only applies to transfers of immovable property. Now, the definition is when transfer of immovable property is made with the intent to hinder, delay or defraud creditors, that will come under fraudulent transfer. Whether it is voidable or not void, so such transfers are voidable at the option of the creditors. It means such transfers are voidable if the creditor complains against it, so long they are not void. It means that they are valid until challenged and set aside. Protection for transferees. This section protects the rights of transferees in good faith and for consideration they have made. Consideration is related with the value, money. Now there is an exception, good faith exception. If a person buys the property in good faith and for consideration he pays something, the transfer cannot be set aside directly. Why? The transfer is not void ab initio, but when it comes in the knowledge of the creditor that he has been cheated, then if he makes a complaint or makes a representative suit and files on the behalf of all creditors, not just one, those who have been affected by the transfer, and proves that the transferor has intention to delay or defraud them. So we can say that a transfer of property cannot be set aside even if it was intended to defeat creditors. It has to be proved by the creditors. If they fail to prove that the intention was bad, then the transfer cannot be void. Now, let us know what is a subsequent transferor. It refers to an individual. Subsequent transferor is that individual or entity that transfer property or assets to a new party transferee after an initial transfer has already occurred or in sequence of transfer. It means if somebody purchases a property and that suppose he is A and then he purchases a property and sells to B, then the property purchased by him and sold to another, in this context he becomes the subsequent transfer. For example, A sells a house to B. A is selling a house to B. Now the B then sells that same house to C. Now in this scenario, B is the subsequent transferor because he is transferring the property subsequently to the initial transfer from A. It means that he has the property from A and now he is giving to C. So B becomes the subsequent transferor. So friends, I hope you have understood the definitions and the importance of this section. Now coming to the leading cases for fraudulent transfers, decided cases under section 53 of this Transfer of Property Act 1882. The first is Musahur Sahu and another versus Hakim Lal, decided by Privy Council in 1950. In this case, Privy Council established that a transfer is not fraudulent simply because it gives preference to one creditor over another. If there are more than one creditor, then Privy Council established that a transfer is not fraudulent simply because it gives preference to one creditor over another or because it delays other creditors. The transaction must be a real transfer. The main idea should be the transaction must be a real transfer intended to wholly defeat the creditor, not just a preferential payment. Means the transfers should not have any preferential payment. He is getting some more money than he is selling. So this should not be there, and the transfer must be real. Second case is E. Siva Subramanian versus Chetna U. Jain, Madras High Court. In this case, Madras High Court confirmed that fraudulent transfers are voidable and can be annulled if challenged. Here, the court says that you cannot see a transfer as a void ab initio, but when it is challenged by the party concerned, by the creditors, then it can be set aside, particularly when the transfer is merely to hide assets from legal action. Particularly in this case, if the intention of the transfer was to hide assets from legal action. So in this case, it should be challenged. If not challenged, that although the transfer was fraudulent, cannot be established. So there should be a challenge. The creditor must challenge the transfer. Now, key principle from case law. What do we understand from this case laws? Voidable, not void. A fraudulent transfer is voidable at the option of the creditor, not void ab initio. I have already explained that a transfer of property cannot be treated as void ab initio. It can be voidable only when there is a complaint against the property, not void from the beginning. Good faith exception. Transfer made in good faith and for consideration are protected. By this section, transfer made in good faith and for consideration are always protected. And a suit filed under section 53 must generally be representative, acting on behalf of all creditors. It means the suit which shall be filed must be representative suit and should act on behalf of all creditors who have been defrauded by this transfer. Intent. What is the intent? The creditors must prove that the transfer's intent was to defeat or delay creditors. This intention has to be proved. If they fail to prove, that transfer of immovable property cannot be treated as fraudulent transfer. Friends, this is all about section 53, which is related with the fraudulent transfer. Hope you will find this video very good. And if you have any comment on this video, please do comment in the comment section. And those who have not subscribed the channel, please do subscribe it. Thanks for watching.